When it comes to tanks, few can match the legendary status of Israel's indigenous Merkava main battle tank. Designed for the threats and conditions of the Middle East, the Merkava has proven itself time and again against enemy armies and weapons. This is the story behind the development of the Merkava Mark I and Mark II, two of the most battle-tested tanks ever built. What does it take for a small nation to develop a world-class tank that outmatches superpowers? How did Israel distill lessons from early wars into a homegrown tank, so lethal yet protective, it would turn enemies into believers? Israel lacked a homegrown tank when it faced tank-equipped Arab armies in its early wars. Relying on imported second-hand tanks wasn't a tenable long-term strategy. What Israel needed was a tank tailored for desert warfare and optimized for crew survival. Resources were limited, but by the 1970s, a small team began development on the Merkava, Hebrew for chariot. The Merkava's capabilities start with its unique crew-protective design. Unlike other tanks, the engine is mounted in the very front rather than the rear. This positions another layer of mechanical components and armor between the crew compartment and incoming enemy fire. The turret sits further back alongside an isolated rear ammunition bay, separated by blast doors. This semi-open compartment allows rapid access to ready ammo while containing blasts outside the crew area in case of a hit. All sensitive crew, weapon and machinery spaces sit deepest inside the tank, protected by layered external armor. In terms of firepower, the Mark I and II were equipped with high-velocity, 105mm and 120mm main guns effective at medium ranges and beyond against enemy armor. Secondary weapons included versatile 60mm internal mortars and 7.62mm to 12.7mm machine guns, allowing 360-degree point defense against infantry and aircraft. External grenade dischargers provided additional anti-personnel suppression. Mobility came from powerful diesel engines, outputting more than 900 horsepower, coupled to automatic transmissions. Advanced torque converters and regenerative steering delivered smooth, quick cross-country performance. Wide tracks disperse 52-plus-ton weights over soft terrain with little ground pressure. The Merkava Mark I entered service just in time for Israel's biggest test yet, invading Lebanon in 1982 to uproot the PLO. Merkavas led the charge into the Valley of Death, destroying nearly 300 enemy armored vehicles, often at point-blank range without the loss of a single Merkava to enemy fire. The Mark I proved versatile and lethal while protecting its crew, earning legendary status. While the Merkava Mark I proved revolutionary on its own, battlefield experience drove tweaks and enhancements for the Mark II. Israel knew it could not rest on its laurels against ever-evolving adversaries. The most impactful upgrade came in the form of a 120mm main gun, replacing the 105mm. The new German-derived high-pressure cannon packs a harder punch against enemy armor at longer ranges. Its larger caliber allows for more versatile programmable ammunition. Fire control upgrades were just as important. A computerized system stabilizes the main gun on the move, enabling accurate fire with minimal aiming disruption from the tank's motion. Thermal imaging sights added night vision capabilities and multi-magnification views. Increased automation and diagnostics preserved the crew's efforts for combat duties. Expanded fuel capacity supports longer, deeper battlefield drives. Shock-absorbing hydropneumatic struts give a smoother ride at speed over rough terrain, maintaining crew effectiveness. Combined, these enhancements made the 62-ton Mark II more lethal at range, more aware of threats, and more likely to strike first with enhanced ergonomics, critical advantages, sustaining its reputation as a world beater. By the late 1980s, the Merkava Mark I and II tanks had cemented legendary status, far exceeding expectations for Israel's first indigenous tank program. Over 1,000 were continuously upgraded and remained frontline battlefield workhorses decades into the future. The Merkava's unique protective design concepts influenced new tank projects worldwide. Patented innovations in fire control, composite armor, active protection systems, and more origin from Merkava advances. Most importantly, crew survival rates achieved astonishing levels compared to any counterparts. Soldiers gained supreme confidence being ensconced in some of the safest yet deadliest tanks ever conceived. Merkava is Hebrew for chariot, a fitting name for tanks carrying Israel Defense Forces ever forward through strife. Continual improvements to each subsequent Merkava variant sustained battlefield dominance despite evolving threats and technology. With the Merkava Mark I and II as the sturdy foundation, the lineage advances generation after generation as a cornerstone guardian of Israel. Originally conceived out of vulnerability but engineered with purpose-built innovations, the Merkava Mark I and II pioneered concepts key to Israeli defense. Its unique approach to tank warfare was proven decisively by trial and affliction. Decades later, the Merkava remains a proudly Israeli tank without equal, one truly earning a reputation as among the very best in the world. Let us know your final thoughts, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe for future content on pioneering military technology.